Hey Jamie, here's a quick guide on how we could 3D model that part. Software here is called Tinkercad. It's a really quick one, easy to get into and easy to understand and start using. It's actually bought out by Autodesk, so it's one of their products. If you don't have an account, you'll just use the sign up, and it's a free sign up, but you will then log in. And once you log in, it'll actually present to you a list of the designs you've already done, or just it'll be blank there. So here's my login. What you'll do is hit the create new design button. The interface on this screen might look a little different. I've seen that there's another version of the software that has these buttons in a slightly different order, but everything works the same. If I right click, I can pivot around the build area, and here's my work plane. The way it works is you use prefabs in positive and negative space. So if I take, let's say, this cube out, I put it on, I hit the F key, and it'll let me zoom in. So right click again to move. Left click, I can move my object. You'll notice that I get some dimensions as to how far it's moving in each direction. So again, right click lets me pivot around the workspace, where left click lets me move the object. And then mouse button also lets me pan in multiple directions. You can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel. The other thing to note is, how do I redefine this object itself, or how do I transform it? You'll see these little angled arrows. You'll see this black arrow and these white dots. The white dots let me change the object's dimensions. Actually, I guess I can grab these black ones too. And you'll see a couple of things that'll show up, sort of an indicator of how much I've changed it in that direction. I can also click on that, and if I know a dimension, I can just hit it, type it in and hit enter. This arrow, black arrow head, lets me move the object. Right? So I can move it around in the space in just that direction. And then these arrows let me rotate it in that orientation. So here I'm spinning it about the y-axis. I can spin it about the x or the z, or actually z and x. I did those backwards, but there you get that. So that's the object and how you transform it. You also have the ability to, see the best way of doing this, to create negative spaces as well. So here, what I'll do is I'll select, and there I then made an object that's a hole. And if I group those by selecting, shift select, and I hit the group button here, I now made an object that looks like this. Right, where we subtracted out that cylinder from the actual box itself. So I'll delete this. So for your project, it's going to be pretty simple. You'll drag it out. You'll figure out what size you need it to be. I can drag this, and if I add the shift key down, it'll scale proportionally. So I might do that. And then if I scroll down here, I have a text item, so I might change the text of this one to be rear right. Maybe I'll set the font to be something sans serif. Move it into position. Hold my shift key down to scale it so it fits inside of this disk. It's also a little taller than we need it to be. Oops. And it also looks like it comes through the bottom a little bit, so I'm just going to also move it up just a hair so it's not on the bottom. All right. If I want it to be centered, I can actually select both of them. And here's my alignment tool. And the way these dots work are you choose which direction you want the things to be aligned in. So clicking here, it's going to align them about the center point here. Clicking here, the other way, here. And you can see there's an orange outline of where the objects, where the second object, in this case the RR, is going to be moved to. So I'll center them here and center them there. And now I know the object is in the dead center. So what I suggest you do is go ahead and build your objects. I can change how many sides, meaning this would make this even smoother. You have a bunch of options here that you can do. But if you want to start off, you can just build one of these. Make sure you first measure to see what size you want. I could then actually just copy and paste this, create another one, and then maybe this is rear left. And that way you can make all 4 of them. Oops. That was odd. So rear left. There we go. All right, hope that was helpful, and we'll chat later. Once you get this thing ready, then we'll go ahead and print it out. All right, later.